Hello and welcome back to Sessions on Amadeus with Travelocademy English. My name is Gaurav Gera. Today we have this video for partially utilized ticket and we want to be cancelling it. So basically, what is partially utilized ticket? You will see a lot of cases where one side will be flown and passenger would want to get a refund of the return flight. It happens a lot of times. If I tell you about the real-time scenarios, and a lot of travel agents, they have so they make a round trip for the passenger because you cannot apply a visa for a country if there is no round trip, but the passenger does not want to come back. So in that case, generally travel agents claim the refunds, and if you have this travel agency, you can also claim the refund of the return flight. Now generally it is very difficult to find that out. Now let's figure out in this video how do we find out the refund of a partially utilized ticket. And I'm going to tell you a simpler way in this. In the next video, we will be doing a more difficult way. So I'm talking about manual cancellations, not automatic. So automatic is very simple. It's just one command. I'll tell you in one specific video, but manual is something that takes a lot of time. So we will do manual cancellations for a partially utilized ticket in this case, in this video. Next video, again the same thing, but through a different method. If this method does not work, then we apply the second one. Now this is if you're coming up for the first time, you can like the video if you like it, only then, and you can subscribe to the channel because we have made a lot of videos of Amadeus and we will be making a lot of more videos on this tool along with some travel videos. We do online trainings and offline training. We're based in India, New Delhi. You can look at the profile of the company just to have a look. Now let's see how do we find out this refund, this cancellation of partially utilized. First of all, let me be very clear, this is a dummy case that I'm taking. Do not rely on this thing. Please do not rely on this thing, because when it says flown, this flown means that the passenger that the flight has been flown. It does not say anything about the passengers. There are two different things. When you look at the PNR status, this is PNR status, this is itinerary. When you look at the itinerary, this tells you more about the flights, that the flights are flown. 23rd of July, the flights are flown. But to understand the clear picture, you need to check the ticket. Now when I did TWD, because there is only one ticket, so TWD will work. The status says open. This actually is a case of no-show. This is not partially utilized ticket. This is fully unutilized ticket, but the passenger is a no-show. However, because this is a dummy case, so we are assuming that this passenger has flown. So if this passenger would be flown, you will find F over here instead of O. Now first thing you do is you check the fare rules. FQD Delhi, we have made a video on this in detail, so you can look at that if you want to understand this deeply. I'm running the FQD command, origin and destination. In this case it is Delhi. Abu Dhabi has an X. That means it should be a transit point. Toronto is the final destination that we have. Then D, 23rd of July, the date of departure 24, R, UP, date of issuance is 22nd of July 24. We need to find out this fare base and we press enter. I think it is YLN05 F6R YLN05. Yeah, the first one. So FQN, you either do star PE or you do /PE or you do /16. Penalty is always at number 16. So whatever way you want to find out, you can find out. Okay, it is not coming up like this. So let's do FQN /PE. No, it is not coming up. So FQN 0. Sorry, I'm really sorry. FQN 01 / and this. Okay, so FQN01, because we are going to open the first one, 01 star or /16 is to open the penalties. Changes, because this is Y class, I mean this should be allowed, so changes are allowed, no charge. We move down, and cancellations anytime permitted. Understand, cancellations, you will find three conditions: one before departure, one after departure, one anytime. Before departure means that the passenger has not traveled any leg yet. So as I told you, this actually is a case of no-show, so we should be checking before departure no-show penalties. But we are assuming that passenger has flown, so in that case this becomes a case of after departure. This is a bit complicated, but to understand this, just need to clarify this thing, that if the passenger has not traveled any flight, we always see before departure condition. If the passenger has traveled one side of it, we see after departure, because after departure means the passenger has taken one flight. However, if you see any time, this means the conditions are the same for before departure and after departure. That means if the passenger has taken the first flight or has not taken any flight, in both the cases the condition is the same. So anytime cancellations permitted and all these, and then you can move down and move down. So changes, it says in case of no-show, which actually is this case of no-show. So if the passenger is no-show, the cancellation charge will be 33,200. anytime means either before departure or after departure. If the passenger is a no-show, then you will have to pay INR 33,200. Now our case is not of no-show, our case is basically of cancellation. So we will not be looking at no-show, we will be looking at cancellations. It is cancellations, it is permitted, there is no charge, which means that we will not have to deduct any amount from the airline's end. And then let's move on to the next step. To understand this thing that I'm going to tell you, you need to understand a concept. So normally what you do is that you look at the fare rules, whatever is the fare, whatever is the cancellation fees, you open the ticket amount, you make sure that the cancellation penalty is not more than the base fare. That's one checkpoint. You have to see that okay, the cancellation fee is less than the base fare. If yes, then you can just deduct this amount to the total total amount of the ticket. Or there are different ways, I'll tell you how to do that, but normally we just do this. However, in this case it is not a simple case. It is a case where the passenger has traveled one side already and he wants to change the return flight. Now this is quite tricky, because you will have to subtract the amount of the flight that he has already used from the total amount of the ticket. What I'm trying to tell is a very simple thing. So let's assume that we have bought a subscription of Netflix. So let's say we have a subscription of Netflix, and it is costing us let's say $20, or let's say, to make it easier, $10 a month per month. You have paid for the entire year. It is going to cost you 10 into 12, which is $120 for the entire year. But let's say Netflix tells you anytime you can cancel it, and if you cancel it, we will be giving you a refund, the entire refund amount back, whatever are the months left, along with a small cancellation fee, a cancellation fee of around $5. So $5 will be deducted. Now we bought this in January and it is till December. Let's say in the month of August, on 31st of August, after using it for almost 8 months, you decide that okay, I don't want to use Netflix anymore, I don't get good content and so on. So you say okay, I don't want to be watching it, I want to get a refund. So okay, if you want to get a refund, so Netflix will say okay, you had bought it for 12 months, you have used it for 8 months, which means you paid $120, you have used $80, $40 will be refunded. However, as we told you, there is a cancellation fees of $5, so we will also be deducting $5 from it. You will be getting net amount of $35. This is the same case as we have over here. So what's happening here is a very simple thing. So passenger has bought the entire ticket like this, he has flown the first 2 legs, now he wants to get a refund. So we'll say okay, let's find out the amount which is used, and then we will be deducting it from the total ticket amount. So let's do FXX/segment number 2 and 3. If you remember, FXX gives you the price of the same flight and same class as booked So when you do this, it gives you an error, invalid past date segment. Now what is this? This is a case where you cannot price today the flights which were booked for 23rd of July. We can't do that. For this you have to do historical pricing. So what do? You just add /r, up, the date of issuance, which in this case is 22nd of July, and here we go. Now we get these three fares. Ours is a Y class, this one. See, you need to understand that what we had before. Let me split the screen here. Okay, let me split the screen from here. Let me try and open the ticket. Now if you see, very rarely you will find that the fare bases match. You don't have to make sure that the fare bases match. Generally it will not, because the one we bought is a round trip fare. So round trip has a different fare base. This is what I'm talking about, and a one way has a different fare base. But and that is how in this case you cannot find that the same fare bases are here. But let's say we open up the third one. Just try and make sure that the kind of fare family that we have booked in, you open up the same fare family. We'll talk about the fare families. Also make sure the baggage is the same. So I'm trying to open up the third one here. You can also open the second one, but second one is like more than the round trip fare. Plus it is a different fare this would have a different condition altogether in it. The one we have bought looks very similar to this one. Look at this, YLN 00F. This is 05F6R. This is 00F6R. Looks very similar, but there are different things. Like we need to see a couple of more things. For now I'm opening this one. FQQ03 is how you open it up. I've opened it. Now this is a one-way fare. On the left hand side, if you remember, I ran this command FXX2 and 3 on 22nd. What was the price of this flight on 22nd of July when I bought this? This is called historical pricing. The amount you've got here, like we've got three prices. I open the third one. The amount we have got is 177,502 in Philippines peso. And on the right hand side we have this one, and this is again a Philippine peso, but this is a total ticket price. So what we do is we simply minus, just like assume this one is a 12 months Netflix subscription that you've already paid. This one is 8-month subscription that we have used. This is used flight. Now we deduct total with the used one. Let's start with, but then you need to open the taxes also. So when you did TWD, now you have to do TWD/tax also. Why? Because we have to deduct base fare with base fare and taxes with taxes. Now DF, the base fare is 155,167. And this one is the total price. So let's deduct from total to used. So 213,259. 213,259 is the total price minus the used one, 155,167. 155,167 plus. Let's move to the taxes. YQ. The total tax is 24492 minus. Used is 12246. 12246 plus K3. I'm sorry, 44 IN. So let's do 44 total minus 44, which is 0. So it's again 0. K3 is 11888. 11888 minus the used one is 8371 plus. The next one is P2. It is 826. 826 fully used. I'll just skip it. 133 WO fully used. 1270 F6. This is partially used. 1270 minus 636 plus. The next is 160 ZR. This is 80 ZR. So 160 minus 80. Now remember one thing. In the total taxes, we have few more taxes like 1467, which is CA, plus 194 RC, plus 14 this one 1491 SQ. Now if the taxes, if the amount is there in the total ticket, but the same tax is not there in the used ticket, which means that we have not used this tax, and if we have not used the tax, then we can again claim the whole amount. But if it is reversed, for example, sometimes you will see there are some taxes in the used fare, but they are not in the total fare. In that case, we will not take that tax. Just for an example, let's assume this used ZR is 80 and total ZR is 160. So we will say, okay, 160 was a total ZR, and then we deduct the used one, we get 80 back. What if this was reverse? So what I mean is, what if 160 was used? I mean, you might have a question, how is this possible? But sometimes you might see such cases. 160 is used and total is 80. If that is the case, we do not take minus 80. We just make it 0. We do not subtract that and make it a negative number. So this is going to be this one. Now what we do is I just press enter and see the total amount is 77,721. That's the total refund amount. This is exactly same as this amount, 40. From total we minus the used. Now it is time to deduct the cancellation fees of the airlines. Fortunately, in this case, it was Y class, most expensive class. There was no penalties, so we do not have to minus anything. But if there is, then you will have to make sure that you minus the penalties from the base fare. So for example, our base fare was 213,259 minus 155,167. That was the base fare that we had, 58,092. So whatever is the cancellation penalty that we have, it should be less than this. If it becomes more than this, the ticket becomes non-refundable, and that is where you'll have to subtract the that becomes non-refundable, and you only get the taxes back. So that is that becomes a very difficult case, but we will also be doing it in future. And this is the amount for refund in case of base fare only. And now this is the total amount that we will be getting. 77,721 is a total amount that we can get as a refund. Now if we want to cancel it, we do XE and the line number 4 and 5, enter, and then we cancel it like this. I'm not cancelling it right now, but if you cancel it like this, the ticket is completely cancelled, and then we can send it for refunds. Refunds is a completely different process that I can tell you later in a different video. I hope I was able to understand, I was able to convey the concept, the method of this. And if you have any question, if you think there was a doubt somewhere, you can just let me know in the comment box. That will be really helpful, and I'll make sure that I'll clear the doubt. And I'll be making more videos on this. The next video that you will have will again be on the same thing, but what if this command that I just ran, this fxx command, partially utilized historical pricing, if this doesn't work, what do we do? That's the next video. Thank you so much for watching this one. You're coming here for the first time, you can subscribe to the channel. That gives us a lot of motivation. We make more video if we have more subscribers. And I will see you in the next video. Till then, bye bye.